beautiful souls. My name is Becca Komar. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to your Starseed family. Welcome home. I know your soul brought me and you and us together for a divine reason. This channel is about sharing vulnerability, life, spiritual awakening, living this life on earth during this time, and to share a little bit about my human self, why maybe you're called to this channel. Let me just share a little bit about who I am as a human, as a soul. My name is Rebecca, and I am a manifester according to human design, 5-1 with Swenic authority. If you know anything about human design, it's a passion of mine. I'm a Libra, Sun, Moon, and Scorpio rising. So it's all about balance, harmony, beauty, relationships, justice. And I'm also a leader. I love to lead, I love to gather, I love to bring people and souls together. I love spirituality, I love connection, authenticity, growth, that word, authenticity. I'm human, this is my channel. I don't try to edit it and be perfect. This is just who I am, and I want to share my authentic truth with you for inspiration, so you can take action on your life and take power and empower yourself through my stories and my expression. So I'll be sharing a lot of different things. My lifestyle, which I'll share my story in just a moment. Traveling abroad during COVID, being a digital nomad, being a coach, a spiritual leader, a intuitive, a business owner, a light worker, a healer, a lover, all of it. An explorer, investigator, just my life I want to share with you for inspiration. So what brought me to this moment, and why are you here potentially? Let me share my story. I always knew I wanted to be a businesswoman as a child. I grew up in a religious background as a Christian, also very connected to the elements, out in nature every day, raising animals, riding horses. And then as I grew older, I tried to fit in, but I was always feeling like I was different. There was something different about me. I was always like the farm girl, the tomboy. I loved sports, was very competitive, and trying to seek validation in others and trying to see where I fit in, but yet never feeling like I fit in. I had many different friend groups, and I was always the one that I could fit in and blend in like a chameleon, but I never felt like I knew myself. And so anyway, that's part of my history. And then as I grew older, after college, I went into business. I got into sales, and I did software sales and product sales, and I learned a lot and grew a lot. And that's actually what led me to my spiritual awakening about 3 or 4 years ago, was being in a job where it was super demanding, and it was all about the money and chasing the American dream, which was being wealthy and rich, and that being what everyone was deemed as success and making it in happiness. And I earned, $250,000, $500,000 during my mid-20s, and yet I realized during this time when I just started to go into meditation and listening to podcasts about personal growth, spirituality, that I was like, this is not the direction I want to go. What is going on? And everyone else around me was like, why? I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. And I'm like, why is this shit about? Excuse my language. And so I finally had the courage to make a choice in my life where I could keep going and making, $1 million before 30 and having this life and American dream and pretending like I was happy, or go to my passion, which was starting a podcast and being a life coach. That's all I knew, was this is where I want to go. So I left that world behind, and there was a lot of resistance against me, but I just knew in my soul, and I called my podcast Follow Your Heart. So I started just following my heart. What does it say it desires? Do that. And so that led me down a path of great spiritual awakening and going within, learning all the different modalities, just being a seeker of the truth, being a seeker of myself. And fast forward to a couple of years later, I started my own business as a business coach and a spiritual coach, and hosted a women's retreat. And in 2019, right before COVID, a dear sister of mine invited me to go to Costa Rica for a couple of weeks. And shout out to my friend Kaylee. She was already like, I'm getting out of the matrix, I'm packing up all my things in the US, and I'm moving. I'm going to Costa Rica and then to Europe. And I was like, cool, that's amazing. Inside, my heart was like, Becca, this is the time to leave. And I was still so attached to everything at home. I had a home and, roommates and a comfy little situation. I felt safe, but my soul desired to move and explore the rest of the world. So I booked a round trip to Costa Rica in January of 2019, and I went with my friend Kaylee, and it was just a beautiful experience, and our intention was to follow our intuition through and through, no matter where that led us. And so it came a point where my friend Kaylee was being called to Guatemala, and she's like, my soul is calling me here to this experience, and I was called to ayahuasca, a ceremony. I'd never done ayahuasca before, and it was calling me, so I went to a different place in Costa Rica, and we parted ways on continuing on our journey. And the ayahuasca trip was supposed to end, the retreat was supposed to end the day of my flight, and it was impossible for me to get to my flight and still be at the retreat for the full time. And so in that moment, I had a choice to make, and I was like, my soul is not ready to go home. So I just didn't do anything. I didn't cancel my flight. I just was like, I'm not showing up. I'm continuing on this journey. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I didn't know what was to come, but I was just following my intuition so devotedly. And after the ayahuasca trip, it was a beautiful experience. I really had an amazing connection with medicine and the earth and other souls on their path. And one thing led to another, and I just kept following my intuition until one day it woke me up and it said, like 4 a.m., my spirit guides, my higher self woke me up and was like, you need to go to Nicaragua, this place called the island of Ometepe. And I had heard about it briefly, like within the last couple of weeks, so it's like the seed had planted in me, but I was like, going to Nicaragua, it's unsafe there, and I shouldn't go alone, I'm a woman traveling, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, it was so loud, and I was listening to my intuition so clearly at that moment, and during that time, that I was just like, okay, I'm taking a bus, I'm going through Costa Rica all the way up to Nicaragua, and I'm landing in this island of Ometepe to this spiritual permanent culture community called Inanita. And so I showed up there, and I just went into an entire new universe where it just stripped away all of my belief systems, all of my conditionings around attachment to things. Like, I stopped shaving, I stopped wearing makeup, I started, just really fully expressing myself, peeing outdoors, pooping in a compost toilet, running around like a naked woman, dancing in the rain, feeling into myself, my body, my sensuality. And it was so freeing. I was like, this is life. This is what people mean by leaving the matrix with all these conditionings. And so I went on that journey and met a lover, and he showed me how to release all of my attachments from my old life back in, at the time, Portland, Oregon. I owned a home, I owned an Audi, I had my 401k plan I was going to go back to, tenants, and he helped me one by one. Get rid of this, sell the car, sell your home, get rid of all your belongings. And I just did it. And I restructured my entire life during COVID last year in 2020, while also just starting my Saturn returns. My Saturn return started exactly in the same month as when the lockdown happened. And I also entered Nicaragua, where I entered the community a week before the border shut down. So this is what happens when you follow your intuition. It guides you on a journey where you don't know where you're going, but you have so much trust in this message within you that you just go to that next step, and you don't know what's after that, but you just trust so blindly, and it's just so magical. And this is how it led me now. I'm still in Nicaragua 1 year later. I met so many amazing souls and light workers and healers on this path that were also called to Nicaragua during COVID to do their work, to do this elevation of consciousness, this light work, the healing work, the shamanism, all of it. And so this channel is about sharing my lifestyle with you. How did I let go of everything in order to gain everything? The universe. And I'm not saying it's easy, because I'm going to be sharing a lot with you. The tears, the shadow work, the resistance, but also the light, the love, the beauty, the unity, the consciousness, the expansion, the growth, the business. How do I actually live this lifestyle and be able to be sustained through my abundance and have access to my resources? the mindset. I'm sharing it all with you. If you want out of what you're in right now and you feel stuck, or you're just wanting inspiration to live more freely in your expression in your life, this channel is for you. I'm sharing it all. I want to share what I'm doing. It makes me emotional because when I look back, this life is just so beautiful when we let go. It's so beautiful. And I want to share with you how it's possible for you. It's not like I did anything special. I just followed my intuition and trusted and surrendered over and over and over and stepped into the uncomfortable. And look what's on the other side. So enjoy this channel. I love you. I send you love and light. I am here for you. And I'll see you on the other side.